TV viewers, welcome to another season of What's Growin On. I'm Jayne Spooner. I'm a University of Minnesota Master Gardener here in Rice County. And we're going to start off the new season here with talking about seed trials again. I know I do this every year, but I just feel it's important information to share with you, giving you some options of what grows best in our area, and it's all done by master gardeners. So in 2023, these were done last year over the growing season. Out of the state of Minnesota, we had 56 master gardener groups that participated in our seed trials. Now, our seed trials have been conducted since 1982, and they're conducted all over the state. So these are going to be really site specific. You're going to get the right information for your growing region. And so that's what makes this kind of a unique thing. Now, we're not testing new varieties of things. We're actually looking at varieties that have been out there for a long time, just to kind of test to see, because there's so many seed varieties. If you look at a tomato catalog or a pepper catalog, I mean, there's hundreds of them. And it really just kind of befuddles the mind. So we kind of help you, especially for new gardeners, it helps narrow some of those things down. So this was our like I said, since 1982, so this is our 42nd annual seed trial program. And once these seeds are distributed to the master gardener groups, we have no idea the identity of the varieties. They're just assigned a number, and you're basically keeping track of that number and writing down all the information that you're seeing: yield, disease resistance, how they did during a drought, just all sorts of things. There's a list of what they check. They're heirlooms. Sometimes they're heirloom seeds, saved from generation to generation. And they're basically looking, there are varieties that they promise high yields, ease of growing, space saving. And they're also looking for flavor, disease resistance, and germination rate especially, because nothing worse than planting a whole page or a whole row of vegetable seeds and not have anything germinate, because basically you're all out, some money. So every year they test vegetables, sometimes an herb, always a couple of flowers. So we're going to kind of walk through step by step what the winners are, and then I will also give you the other ones that came in behind them as well, along with some of what they liked about this particular variety. So we're going to start with green pole beans, and these are the Seychelles. These are the long green beans. I'm not a green bean lover, so this is certainly one that I would be trying, but God love you, eat away. So this was chosen because it has long 5 to 6 inch stringless pods, which is really nice, and they have high yields, and so that's a really nice thing to have, that you're not just planting this whole crop only to just get a little bit. It's fast growing and it produces early. So this is a really good variety, so you can do some succession planting. So if you put some in 2 to 3 weeks later, you can do another row planting of them and kind of keep that continuing to grow. So you have green beans that you can process to freeze or make dilly beans or pressure can them for the winter months. The other varieties that they tested under this group was the Blue Lake, a Monte Cristo, a Kentucky Wonder, a Kentucky Blue, and Vortex. So those were the other varieties that came in just behind that one. Now, I love carrots, and so this year they tried something, and rather than an orange carrot, they did a red carrot. It's called Malbec, not to be confused with the wine, but I bet if you added carrots to a nice beefsteak or something and had them all back, well, make everybody happy. They're beautiful in red color, so that's what makes it kind of fun, because we eat with our eyes, we look for colors. And if you take and mix these with some yellow carrots, there's yellow carrots on the market and orange carrots, you're going to make a lovely dish of cooked carrots, pan roasting them in the oven. We like to take potatoes and carrots, wrap them in foil with some butter, olive oil, salt and pepper, and then just throw them on the grill while we're grilling steaks or chicken or whatever for our meal. They really grow long. There's about 10 inches. They grow about 10 inches long, but you have to make sure that your soil is not very compacted, so you have to have a nice loamy, loose soil in order to get that long length. And there, like I said, there's multiple uses, cooked or raw. This is your carrot for you if you want something a little bit different. And plus, the red color, you know, it just might get your kids to eat a red carrot rather than an orange one. Trick them a little bit by feeding them a red carrot. I've never tried this, but I'm sure you could probably find it in a salad mix or something. We're talking about mustard greens, and the variety that they selected was the Mizuna mustard green. The other ones that came in behind it were the Jayne Southern Curled, the Tatsoi, the Florida Broadleaf, the Green Wave, and the Tender Green. These mustard greens are kind of for oriental dishes. So they're part of the brassica family. So they're kind of like cabbages, cauliflower, kohlrabi, kale, cabbage. So they kind of fall in that whole category there. They're very mild in taste, so you can use them when they're really young and mix them into salads to just kind of give yourself a little bit different flavor, a little bit of variety with your regular lettuces. And as they get bigger, you can actually treat it like spinach and cook it. Mild in taste, and like I said, they're really great in stir fry to utilize that. And now, no garden is complete without tomatoes in your garden, especially for me. I plant several different varieties. And one I always like to do is a sauce or a paste style tomato. So they're generally going to be a little bit drier than a regular tomato, which makes it optimum for sauce making or to make a paste if you're going to can it. The winner out of this group was the Capolis Pride. And this actually was brought over in 1906 to the United States from Italy by Emilio Capola. And the person that actually shared it with us, we talk about heirloom vegetables that have been shared from generation to generation, was his great-grandson, Larry Capola. And he is actually a master gardener in the metro area, so I happened to just look him up as I was reading the descriptions of it. So this has a very strong flavors, and it's got good productivity. This is now, if you have ever done a tomato like this is just going to be kind of, it's going to grow in a big batch, and then you're not going to have, it'll be done. So you might want to plant 2 or 3 plants if you want to do some canning or just use it for regular spaghetti sauce or making paste. And the other ones that came in behind it were an orange banana, a Jersey Devil, a Polish linguiça, a San Marzano, 10 fingers of Naples. Now I've had the San Marzanos in my garden, and also I've seen them already canned in the store, and that seems to be a popular variety too. But Capola's Pride was the big winner in that tomato category. Now, I don't know about you, but who doesn't love a good watermelon in the summertime? But man, do watermelons take up a lot of space in your garden. And I have 3 granddaughters that if I get them a watermelon, if they want, they'll sit down and eat it all in one setting. So this one is a mini watermelon, a small watermelon. It's called Mini Love. And what I like about this is the fact that there's only a 3-foot by 3-foot spread. So if you don't want to put a lot of space in your garden for this is a great type of watermelon to put in a container. And if you've got grandkids that really like watermelon, this is a great way to get them into gardening because they can watch their own watermelons grow, and they can just put it in a pot and not have to, designate a lot of space in your garden. And the nice thing about this too, it does yield very high. You get about half a dozen watermelons out of one plant. And also disease resistant, so you're not going to see a lot of that powdery mildew that sometimes you do on melons and cantaloupes and watermelons and stuff. The other ones that came in behind it were the Mini Pool, Yellow Doll, Sugar Baby, the Yellow Petite, and the Golden Mini. So not always a red watermelon in there, but some other colors too as well. So another way for you to try some different colors to make that plate look really, really nice. And of course, an herb, gotta love basil, especially if you're gonna plant your Copola's Pride tomato. So, and this one's gonna be kind of fun because this is a purple basil. In the past I've read about some purple basils that they don't but always have the greatest flavor, but this one actually does. This is called Amethyst Improved, and it's a Genovese style type basil. And Genovese basil is probably one of the most common basils that we as home gardeners will grow. It's used in all your caprese salads, mixing it in your tomato sauces. So that's going to be probably the most common that you're going to hear. So it is of that kind of style. It grows 16 to 20 inches high, and it does have that true basil flavor. Some purple basils don't always have that true basil flavor. They're just very bland, and they're more done for show than anything. And it's more hardy than cold Genovese basil. If you've ever planted it in your garden, usually if you have a cold snap, it's the first thing to go in your garden, and there's no bringing that back. And also it's going to be slower to bolt. You have to be careful with your basil because as it starts to flower at the top, you want to make sure that you pick that off at the top, because that's when your flavor really starts to go, because the energy is all going up into production of that flower at the top of your basil rather than putting it into the flavor and the rest of the growth of the plant. The other purple basils that came in behind it were the Crimson King, the Prospera Red, the Red Reuben, the Purple Delight, and Purple Ruffles. So another color to add, get your Mizuna greens and some other greens and add in a little of this purple basil, again, eating with your eyes. And now we've got some flowers for your garden, because that would not be complete without having some flowers for it. And I've really had to do a little bit of research on it because I've seen it, but I've seen it under different names. So this is called a Melampodium, or a derby. It's called derby. And it's also known as butter daisy or a blackfoot daisy. It's a member of the sunflower family, so as you can kind of see, it does resemble a little miniature sunflower there. Now it's a very nice compact plant, so it's not going to get tall and leggy, so it's nice for a container or a nice little bush area type style plant in your garden. It grows 12 to 24 inches tall, so it's going to be something that you want to kind of put mid-level in your garden. If you're doing a whole garden bed, you want your plants to go from small to medium to large towards the back, just so that you can see everyone. So you can see it's got the golden petals, and then it's got a little darker golden center in it. And the nice thing about this is with proper water, fertilizing, it's going to be a continuous bloomer for you all summer long. So take a look for that. The other ones that came in behind it were Showstar, Golden Globe, Jackpot Gold, Son of Garth, and Lemon Delight. And last but not least is the Mauve Queen Pink Cleome. Now, if you've ever seen these in a garden, they've also are named as a spider plant, which is when I first started gardening, that is when I knew it as was a spider plant. Or it's also known as Grandpa's Whiskers, because you can kind of see the little whisker effects of it. So another kind of a fun flower for your garden, especially if you're trying to get your grandkids to be a little interested in it. It's very drought tolerant, and this is a great backdrop. Let's say you have a garden bed, and this is going to be a nice row of flowers along the back side of your garden to create some height back there for you to draw your eye up to as you go from the front to the back. And another great thing about this, it's a great pollinator plant. It's also great in attracting butterflies and hummingbirds, and the color is just stunning. It's got that pinky mauve. So some of the other varieties tested were Rose Queen, Sparkler Rose, Cherry Queen, Solo, and Rocky Mountain Bee Plant. So a lot of varieties. Now, if you're ever wondering, if you ever wanted to see where seed trials are conducted, the Rice County Master Gardeners do seed trials here. and we actually do maintain them down at our teaching gardens. I know we've done a segment down there before, but there is an area in our garden, a raised bed variety, and they do take and start some of these things from seed or just plant them, direct sow them. And so there is an area that is dedicated to seed trials. So if you're really interested in watching it and see how they're growing, you can stop down at the Rice County Fairgrounds and check out the teaching garden. It's right towards the front of it where it's really sunny, so they're getting all the proper sun and water and stuff that they need, so you can kind of see it in action. And also the Steele County Master Gardeners also maintain a plot down by Riverland Technical College down there. So a couple of other places, and another great place to look at teaching gardens is of course the University of Minnesota Arboretum up in the Chaska-Chanhassen area. So a good opportunity to go see the Arboretum and check out those teaching gardens up there as well. There's a lot to learn. So anyway, I hope this brings you some great ideas for your garden this year. If you want to read up a little bit more on the plant trials that we do in all the years, there is a spreadsheet that is on the University of Minnesota Extension website. Just go to the garden tab and then just put plant trials, and it will bring you up to the section with the article on it, and there is a link there that you can actually upload the spreadsheet that has several years worth of plants that have been trialed throughout the years by master gardeners. So happy gardening to you and happy digging.